Welcome to Work the Left Side. I am beyond hyped to announce tonight's guest. If you've ever watched any True Grit review or hype episodes with myself and Dan and Paul, you know how we feel about this person, how highly regarded they are. It is one of the most awesome people. In Dan's words, one of the best in the UK. It is the one, the only, the fabulous, the razzmatazz. That is Che Monet. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. The razzmatazz is definitely something that is I'm keeping. It's just do you know what? Like I said, a way back when I watched it, I've never ever still to this day think that I would ever be compared to that Taz of all people. But it's not an insult. I'll tell you that it is not an insult.
It's the suplexes, mate. You just literally the awesomeness of our very own suplex machine, and it's just like say, just the way you're throwing people around, the body language, the positioning, the footwork, everything is just mate.
I tell people all the time I'm small, but big things come in small packages, and I mean, point proven.
It's quality. It's quality, not quantity.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the
You're
one.
right. I'm
So
totally like at the same time. Sorry, I was distracted there because I'm looking at the side. I can see a spider as well, like just crawling towards me. So I'm like, you can just stay where you are, or I'll suplex the spider next.
well, if we need to put a pause on this, if you want to go get a glass, get an envelope, or just give it a
It's fine.
second.
I'm just watching to see where the wee guy. I actually do not know where he is. I can see his reflection, but it could be anywhere right now. So I actually don't know where he is, but I can see him somewhere in the reflection.
Well, unfortunately, I would say that I'd keep an eye out for you, but my eyesight is shocking. So if he crawls up over your shoulder or something, I ain't going to see it. I can't warn you about it. So apologies.
I'm trying to like figure out where the fuck he is. I can see him. What a great start! Che Monet versus Spider. Like this is the one that people have been looking for. Like genuinely, I wish I could turn my camera to show you. Like I can see the reflection. I just don't know where he's hiding.
It's all very Halloweeny and spooky. You've kind of got this, yeah, this
Yeah, that's it.
fun.
He just told me like that's to say like this is all an act. Actually, I'm like a secret witch or something like that. Like I generally, I'm spooky as shit. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I just swore, so
Yep,
apologies.
no, no. Yeah, I meant to say before it records. Again, it's one of those things I can guarantee it. If I say it, the person's not going to swear. If I don't say it, the person's going to be like, "Oh, halfway through a sentence, can I swear?" Of course you can. It's fine.
One hundred
We're
percent,
not
one
made
hundred
for
percent.
kids. It's okay.
But if we do
Um,
need to stop at any point, it's me fighting this spider. That's what's going on. Because I don't know where that little fucker went, but I'll get him.
suplex it, mate. Just suplex it out of the house.
I'm
Bam.
ready. Like I am generally, I've got my half Nelson ready, and I'm ready to just go to town on him.
Eddie Kruger, Bosch. There we go.
Boys, oh, they wouldn't survive that. Jackie T barely survived that. Never mind that poor spider.
Well, you're saying that about Jackie T. I mean, it was the one against Sammy Blue that made me and myself and a lot of people I know just go, oh. When Sammy
I
Blue took
mean,
that, that was. I mean, he left it to the last minute to kind of like ball up.
I don't mess about. It's either 100% or nothing at all.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, the aim is to win the match, and that's exactly what I did.
Thank you. That sums it up perfectly. That is what a signature move, a finisher move, whatever you want to call it. That is you giving 100%. Because, like I say, you're there to get paid. You're there to win matches. You're there to get
Yeah.
the W's. So why would you not just
Exactly.
bam? Yeah,
And it's like you
100%.
have said previously, like with True Grit, like you don't know when the last time I'm going to be there is. Like people think I'm just coming in as like the import, blah, blah, blah. But you never know. Like I done something to Sammy Blue and it's kept me coming back. So
Well, that's it. I mean, obviously, yeah, because you made a great impression. Like obviously the year before, at the Pride show. It was all like, oh, awesome gets Fraser Gervin. Obviously, I'm sure many of you are aware of, a fellow countryman. And then yeah, we didn't see you again for like another year. And then yeah, we've
yeah.
got to see you twice, and then we're going to get to see you in November. And it's kind of like, ooh. So yeah, again, as much as we love to hate Adam as Pride champion, part of us is thinking like, well, Shay wins the belt, then that means a lot more Shay goodness in the future.
I know, like you just don't know what can happen, especially because I feel like maybe speaking factual here, but me and Adam probably have like the longest story of the year this year because it's not just one company; it's like five different companies. It's Shea Money and Adam Bolt, Shea Money and Adam Bolt. Whether we're working together, whether we're fighting each other, it's just we're the topic of conversation.
Yeah, I remember talking to him about it at one point, and I kind of put out there, like, oh, I hope we get, a Che Monet Adam Bolt match at True Grit, 'cause I know you've been doing it elsewhere and tearing it up elsewhere. And he was like, thank you, if more people, put that out into the universe, maybe it'll happen. And then, it kind of did happen because I know he wanted
Universe
to face you at
spoke.
True Grit because, like you sort of said, you've been tearing up everywhere else. But I know what that Pride title means to him, and what obviously he wants to defend it against the best of the best and have the best matches.
Yeah.
And yeah, you two bring that out of each other.
I can imagine that means a lot to Adam. It's just unfortunate. I like winning, and Adam knows I like winning. He's been at the losing front for me quite a few times, and don't get me wrong, Adam's pinned me down as well a few times. I mean, I quite like it, to be honest, when he pins me down, but it's more so just like, okay, Adam, you've stepped into my territory, and I show you how it's done. Let me step into yours now, and you show me how it's done. So I want a fight. Give me a fight.
Yeah, that's it. And exactly, it just works. Like I say, you kind of got that understanding. Like I say, whether you're working together or against each other. Because obviously, yeah, I thought I've got to if I've tried to look up so much stuff today, like with through like the Target stuff, the ICW stuff. Was it you and Adam called Set to Stun or something like that as a team?
So that was a one-time thing, right? Like kayfabe, non-speaking here. I was like, Adam, if we ever reunite, we're changing that name. That name is dog shit. Dog shit, Adam. Whoever came up with that, Adam, you will be hearing from my lawyer because that's absolutely terrible. What did we think going into that? Genuinely, like, I look back at it and go, what? It doesn't even appeal to either of us. Like, what was this? Like, were we supposed to be like, that sounds like something like you would call like a riot squad team, like, or something like that, like a people to dress in like armor, like Jackie T and his armor or his body armor
It
bodysuit
makes me
thing,
think of
whatever.
Star Trek. It just makes me think of Star Trek or something. Set the phasers to stun.
Yeah, like yeah, like if me and Adam were aliens and we came out with lightsabers and stuff, yeah, sure, call us set to stun, but I ain't no Jedi. He ain't no Jedi. So absolutely not. So I said to Adam, like, listen, if we reunite, that name, got to go.
Out the window, be gone.
Never happened.
Obviously, I will get back to the True Grit bit down the line. I just want to kind of talk about it now while I'm thinking about it. Obviously, another thing I put out earlier is anybody who knows me knows, I credit a handful of people for getting me into British wrestling in the first place, many years ago, kind of thing. And Martin Kirby is one of those guys. So obviously, when I saw that, you and him, I've been onto the Target YouTube channel, watched some of the matches and stuff. But yeah, the fact that you and Curbs are, tag champs is just mind blowing to me. That's just amazing. That's just like, as I sort of put out there, two of the very best in this country as a team. It's a team I didn't know I needed, but now I know exists.
Yeah,
Man.
it's a team we didn't know we needed. It just kind of it happens because, like yourself, when I first started British wrestling, essentially, Martin Kirby was obviously someone that I looked at wrestling in front of me when I was just a little boy as a trainee behind the merch stall selling merchandise and stuff. Like Martin Kirby would always be that guy in the ring. Fast forward 10 years later, and it's me who's in the ring with him as Target Tag Team Champions. Like you never know what's coming in wrestling, and it's expect the unexpected. And like you said, Martin Kirby and Che Monet, does it make sense? No, but it does today.
Yeah.
It does today. So yeah,
Well,
it's just an
like, so
experience.
there's the I don't really want to say the odd couple. It's just because obviously you both got like massive characters. You both kind of got that charisma. But I just love some of the photos looking at going through like your Instagram, and it's kind of like he's wearing the pink and black, and you're wearing the pink and green. It's just kind of like just the captions underneath, be like, "Come on, Martin, what you doing?
Yeah, I mean, this is a real story. So I had actually said to Kirby, wear pink and yellow because I know he has pink and yellow, but I said wear pink and yellow, or was it I said pink and green? One of that. I basically said wear your colors of gear that you've got. And we turned up, and he was in pink and white, and I was like, "What's this?" And he was like, "Well, I don't have pink and yellow," and I was like, "Yes, you do." And he was like, "That's pink and green. You never said pink and green." So I literally was going back and forth with him for maybe a good 20 minutes about the fact that he turned up in the wrong colors, which was purely my fault. I just didn't want to take accountability for it.
Nah, we've got blame Curves as well. He's
He's
been
been around
around
longer. He should know better.
exactly. Is the experienced hand.
The experience, he should have known. Should have known.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, we kind of touched on it then. We obviously were talking like when you're in training and stuff like that. So let's get the generic question out of the way. Yeah, I mean, what made you? Were you? Was it something from a young age? Was it sort of? Everybody's got a different story to tell, which is kind of like it's a generic question, but I like to ask it because it's always interesting to me. What made you take those steps? Through that training room door. What made you sort of think? You know what? Yeah, I can do this, or I want to do this.
Yeah, mine's is quite interesting. I wouldn't say exciting, I'd just say interesting, like intriguing. So obviously, just like anybody else, I watched wrestling when I was a kid. It was just kind of one of these things where I'd watch and not really understand it at the time, but when you see men throwing each other around, I was like, oh hey, I'm into this. So then I saw Rikishi do a stink face. And I was sold. So that was definitely my I love this guy. But it's weird because when first coming up to wrestling, like I was very much into like your Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, your Goldust and all that. And watching Goldust at the time with Terry Runnels, it was. I didn't understand why he was wearing a wig. Like I didn't really get the concept of it, but I was intrigued. And then I kind of took a break from wrestling. I kind of done that thing where you go off it
Get a bit
as
older.
when you got older. I was actually
Yeah.
really into football, so I transferred to the dark side and was a footballer. And then I remember it was Christmas and I got a Christmas PlayStation game. It was SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. And I went, what the heck? Let me put it on. I'll just say it like because my sister got me it, so I wanted to be respectful and be like, yeah, I'll play it, sure, and I really liked it. And then I remember Monday Night Raw was randomly on Sky Sports one time. I believe it was actually Channel 403. And it was WWE Raw, and the match that was on was Super Crazy and Mickey James versus Johnny Nitro, Johnny Morrison, and
Yeah.
Melina. And I was hooked. I was hooked
Ah,
from this random ass tag match on my TV. I didn't know the schedule, so I didn't know what day SmackDown was on. I didn't know Raw was on. Every time it'd be on, I would just be watching the same episode and repeat and thinking like, "This is cool." And then I finally got the concept of it. Okay, so Friday night SmackDown, Monday night Raw. Okay, cool. Now I'm getting it. And then TNA came about, and I was in love with TNA, and it was in the like the hexagon ring. Would you say a
yeah.
hexagon? And it was like AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. And I remember the first pay per view I watched was TNA Lockdown, and I was
Elix
like,
Skipper.
this. What? Sorry.
Was it the one with Elix Skipper when he moonsaulted off the top?
Oh, what one was it?
It might have been before that. That's a lot of people shout
Believe it
that
was
out. When
2007. So I remember it
ah,
was. So I remember this is how because this is how I started really getting into women's wrestling as well. It was Gail Kim versus Mrs. Jackie Moore, also known as Jacqueline,
yeah,
and it was the first ever women's six sided steel. Um, and I fell in love with Gail Kim at that moment because I was like, damn, like Gail Kim's fucking, she's insane. She's different from all the other female wrestlers. Like, I liked Mickey James and I liked Melina, but obviously they were very limited to what they'd done. So I only thought they played like a small part in like your 2007 era and stuff like that. But then that's when I was just hooked to everything. And then I watched like the Ultra X match where the X is hanging from the cables and stuff. And I just became obsessed with wrestling again, like genuinely. Um, One time I just decided, well, I never thought it was a thing in Britain. I always thought it was very American. So I thought I would need to go to America if I wanted to be a wrestler. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to be in musical theatre and do Broadway instead. That's what I was going to do. And then I was at that age where I was getting drunk a lot and I was very hungover for my audition and made a mess of it. And I was actually crying and stuff like, "Oh, but I really want this." And I knew I made a mess of it. And then the week later, I saw like PBW Wrestling Academy, trained by a Kid Fight. And Barhead Academy, go here and stuff like that, and I just emailed, and the following week I just started, and from there, I like to say it worked out for the best.
dude, definitely. Wow. Okay, that's the. Well, I just wanted the. I was speaking to somebody last week, and they were sort of saying, I kind of touched on, or they mentioned they had a history of like, you know, theatre and dramatics and stuff before getting into wrestling. I kind of liked that because I kind of think, or I don't know, again, I'm going to presume it kind of helps a little bit, you know, because you're obviously you kind of got that personality where you want to stand up on a stage, you want all eyes on you, you want, you don't lack in confidence.
Yeah, people's theatre background, people always go like, "Oh, theatre kids, ugh, look at this guy." Listen, there is a small fraction of people in the UK who can cut a good promo, and I'm one of that small fraction. So therefore, you may be laughing at me, "Oh, he's been in drama and stuff like that, musical theatre." Guess what? You can't cut a promo, and I can.
Exactly. Oh, man, it's just like, you know, I likened it to like, again, it's just the spectrum of people I've spoken to. You know, it's like they're either doing like sort of say, you know, theatre, amateur dramatics, or they've been in a rock band, or they've been in a band of some sort. You know,
Yeah.
it's just used to being on stage. It's just use. Because I've said it so many times, like, you know, that must be when you're learning, when you first step through that curtain, that's got to be one of the hardest things, you know, just to try and force yourself through the curtain, knowing that there's, I don't know, 20, 50, 100, 200 eyes all going to
Mhm.
be on you when you step through. Oh, it's got to be nerve wracking. And I'm sure it still is, you know, the butterflies are still going to be
Oh
there.
yeah,
But if
all
you've
the
got
time.
that kind of a background, it's got to be a little bit easier.
It's definitely, it helps. You can
Yeah.
almost tell who kind of has a background because the presence, they kind of know how to work the stage or make their entrance and stuff like that. But even at that, there's times where I'll be like, right, I'm going to do this for my entrance, I'm going to do this, this will be cool. And then you step through the curtain and it's your mind goes blank and you just go, oh geez, like it's so different when you're in front of people because you think, oh, I'm gonna be this cool guy when I walk out and all that. And then you come out and you're kind of like, everything that I said backstage just goes out the window because I feed off the audience. So I don't go off of, oh, I'm going to do this because I think it's cool. I feed off what the audience like. And if they like me doing a cartwheel of entrance, I'll do a cartwheel. If they like me climbing to the top rope, I'll climb to the top rope. Like, it's just kind of what they enjoy and selfishly not just think about myself.
No, I mean, rightly so, because then they're going to be the ones that, you know, talk about you. They're going to be the ones that kind of be like, "Why are you here tonight?" Oh, because Shay's on the show. You know, I'm here to see Shay, kind of thing. You know, you get
Yeah.
that word of mouth, you get that reputation, you get that kind of, you know, yeah. If the fans are behind you, then yeah, it makes all the sense in the
Yeah.
world. Why wouldn't you kind of give them what they want?
Yeah, if I'm not going to do it for myself, at least do it for the fans out there. That's my mindset. I could turn up to a show sick. I could turn up and maybe I'm not feeling great and not had the best week and all that. But don't do it for just me. Do it for the fans who came to see you.
But that is again, any time I've ever had the pleasure of speaking to, I mentioned Fraser Gervin earlier. Obviously, I had him on the. I talked to him after last year's Pride show. I've had, you know, other people as well. I love, like, you know, just the wrestling up in Scotland. You know, I think you guys are just, it's a crazy scene up there. It's so passionate. It's so strong. And the pedigree, you know, the people that have kind of come through or making names for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
obviously, I love, you know, I can't British wrestling, and you know, I want to big up the English wrestling. But man, yeah, you guys up there are just absolutely next level.
Scottish is the hidden gem. It's kind of like there's a lot of good talent, but there's just less shows now. So they just need to give that one opportunity for them to just strap the rocket to them and just shoot off. Like that's what I say. Like I'm blessed because I had that opportunity very early on, especially because I went through an injury and stuff like that. So I thought I was a way behind everyone. And then when I got that opportunity with Effie and Visage, that was my moment. I took every single moment and I ran with that, and I was not letting anybody stop me.
Just charging through, I guess.
It was genuinely like I had a spear and I was just ramming through everybody. Like at that moment, like that was my make or break moment. So I made it.
Dude, yeah, well, definitely, you know, exceeded. You kept running and then just ran onto another pitch and ran onto
Yeah,
another pitch and just went.
just couldn't
Um,
come anymore, anymore.
but yeah, like I said, you know, I think I was talked to like Tim Strange recently, and he was kind of saying, you know, he loves betting up in Scotland, he loves the Scottish scene. He
Yeah,
just sort of says it could just be, there's just, you know, people need to get on a bit more up there, and it would be
yeah.
like groundbreaking kind of thing. But everything's in place. It's just yeah, like I say, people just need
It's
to
a
be.
puzzle and it's kind of all over the place. We just need to connect the pieces. Like that's really it. Like, I don't wrestle a lot in Scotland anymore. I wrestle occasionally. But I just love knowing that, like, for example, I was in Spain over the weekend. I love knowing that I was there just representing Scotland as the only Scottish person there. And just thankful that these people took a chance on me to give me the opportunity as well. But it's like I don't do this just for me and the fans or stuff like that. Like I do this to represent for people back home. Like this is how we wrestle. That's how we get down. So yeah, if I get the opportunity to kind of represent as a whole, then I'm gonna do that.
Definitely, man. It's just, yeah, the thing is just kind of you've kind of got this pedigree behind you straight away when people, I think, it kind of just comes with like, it's just the reputation, of
Thank
people,
you.
people that have learned in Scotland, people that come from Scotland. It's just, you guys work on a next level, you got to be in for a fight, you got to feel it.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of people want. They want to work that way and they just kind of be like, yes, this is, thank you kind of thing. So,
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm sure the fellow Scottish will appreciate that as well.
Actually, I'm trying to appeal to you guys as well. Obviously, I'll shout out to the SWN as well. I love those guys. What those do, they do a lot of awesome stuff.
Don't
That's
shout out at him. He was biased in his last interview. Don't shout out SWM. We ain't
oh,
talking about him. He's biased. He's a big Judas Bray fan, and I was just like, we ain't talking about that.
right, okay. Sorry, Billy. That's it. Vetoed. That's it. We're done. So,
Billy, you're on the shit list.
um, but yeah, obviously, well, we'll put it back down. Then we'll get out of the SWN territory. Obviously, talking Target, talking TNT. With the tags. The the high octane belt um, is again. I'm gonna. I've got this right, or I've got that belt mixed up with the other belt that you had and lost recently. Um,
High
I can't
Octane
remember.
is Target. Ultra
Target.
X.
Ultra. That's it. Sorry, I knew it was both of them. Yeah, I was just like, oh crap, I've got a 50-50 shot here. Which one
Yeah.
is it?
I'll
Um,
get them mixed up as well. But they both have the same definition.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's kind of like that style, it represents that just kind of non-stop smash mouth speed, just everything. But yeah, the belt that you do currently hold
Yes.
is again, that's like sort of said it to me. That's a couple of years ago. You're just building up and you're building it up. It's just shows how much momentum you've got at the minute.
Thank you so much. It's a blessing because especially like we're talking about high octane, it's the belt is speed, adrenaline, fast, 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 fast. And it's like, yeah, I can do that, but I feel like I've got a higher thing to prove. Due to I guess you can say that the minority would they call it, but I don't look at myself as a minority. Me and Adam are always on the same page as we didn't get into wrestling due to our sexuality. We got into wrestling because we wanted to wrestle. It was nothing to do with the men or being gay and nothing like that. Like I don't even like to talk about stuff like that. However, being trusted almost with this belt to put on a show and that style of match is something that I never thought I'd be able to do. And I'd like to say like I feel like I'm doing a good job. But Derice actually said a great thing to me and it was like the differences between you and the rest of the high octane champion is no one knows how to prepare for you because you're different.
Yeah. Well, you
You
can
can
you can
prepare.
suplex. You can do You've got that whole kind of like you've got that ground and pound style. You've got that suplex, but then you've got the high octane. You've got the speed. You
Yeah.
got that first step, and it's like there we go.
What is that? What is the Asuka line? Nobody's ready for Asuka. Nobody's ready for Che Monet. You just
There
don't
we
know which
go.
one you're gonna get.
Che Monet, Che Monet. Yeah,
It's just like
look.
our different personalities in one. It's like what Shay's gonna come. What Shay's gonna come out the closet today.
That's the one. But I mean, you look at that belt and you look at the lineage of it. The people that have held it previously. That to me as well. That's just you. That's why when we sort of say you're one of the best in the country. We can say that and we can back it up. We can say with confidence. I mean, you beat like obviously Robbie X. There's like say man like Derice. There's been so many guys that are just considered
The lineage.
best in the world kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, what I mean. You're
It's
in that conversation with them.
and it's when I've so the Ultra X belt that I currently hold, that's a brand new belt. So that was designed purely for the Scrabble match kind of the style we done. So that's a brand new belt that I'm currently holding, like a redesign of the Ultra X belt. So right away, like new belt, like the kind of the lineage. It's like I'm adding my name onto that. It's just like Jesus. It's one thing after another, and it just makes me feel so. I guess like the most cheesiest word ever is just like I feel happy. I feel good. I feel honored. Like just being able to represent.
Yeah, I think my son recently came back. He's learned a new word at school. He loves it. He says, "Oh, it's his birthday soon." He's like, "I'm really elated that I'm going to be having a party." I had to stop and I was like, "You what?" He's like, "I'm elated." I'm like, "I like that. I like that word." Yeah, he
Yeah,
could have
yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm happy to have a party." He's like, "No, I'm elated." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, you are elated at the."
I'm elated. I'm elated to be your Ultra X champion. Hopefully, the longest Ultra X champion.
That would be awesome. I had Najee on a few weeks ago, and he sort of said he's gone in for you. He wants a shot at that belt.
Najee can't touch me. You need to be ready first, Najee. Like if we're talking Effie's Big A branch, I've just put Najee out in the Rumble. So
Yeah.
with a push, if you're getting eliminated by a push, what do you think's going to happen to you when you actually step in the ring, mate? Are you stupid?
Oh, yeah. It's. I'm going to say obviously stay partial on this one. I'm going to get splinters because I'm just going to go sit on a fence. But it's a match as a fan. It's a match that I would definitely be hyped to watch. I'll say that anyway.
Yeah, when he's ready.
I'm talking
Oh
about
yes.
obviously quality matches and stuff. Title defenses and things like that. Obviously, I kind of was watching on to do the reel that I did for the intro of this episode and to hype up you coming on. I've sat there and watched loads of matches, cut them all together, kind of thing. And it blew my mind that I didn't know about it when it happened, and I've only just found out that this match happened. Is you versus Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, again, he's one of those names. You mentioned TNA earlier. Regardless of what people think of him or wrestling fans,
Yeah.
want to say about him, the dude can go in the ring. He was iconic for TNA. What he did with the X Division, going up to the world title, cashing it in, all that kind of sort of stuff. But again, that to me, if somebody's booking him and putting him on a show, and they're thinking, right, who do we put him against? How do we use this guy? We'll put him against Shay. That's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, so I actually asked the reason behind that. I said, why me? Why have I got Austin Aries? And they literally said to me, and they were like, because we trust you.
yeah.
You have a great attitude when you come here. You're professional. You do your job. You have fun while doing it. This is the reason why you put it because they say, I use this line a lot. I always say, good things happen to good people. Um, but I always miscount it. I don't normally use it on like myself, but hearing this from someone else to be trusted to be put in the ring with, I guess we can say it like a ring general, a veteran who's been about the block, like has been about for years now. And to have him actually say to me, like, so I went in as like the trainee. I was the sit down, shut up. That's what my intention was. Sit down, shut up, just listen to this man. Hopefully he doesn't beat you up. That kind of style. And he was like, so tell me what you do. And I was just like, what do you mean? And he was like, listen, this is me. I'm boring. Look at you. You're the star. What do you do? To hear this from like someone at his league is kind of like, damn, it sounds so cliche again, but it's like almost like getting the flowers.
Yeah.
And Austin Aries, again, someone that I never thought I'd ever stand across the ring from. It's these people that I just keep getting in the match, and I'd never ever think in a million years it would happen. With there's Kirby and like on my side, there's Austin Aries, Ray Horace, Sonny Kiss. Like it just keeps going, and I'm like, I never want this dream to end. Like just keep going, man, because like you said, I always self doubt myself. I think every other wrestler can speak for themselves. They're their own worst enemy. But clearly, if I'm getting these people, it means I've worked something.
That's it. I was going to mention, obviously, when I was looking through stuff, because that was only that was really recent. I think it was last week or the week before, wasn't it? The Sonny Kiss match. I kind of thought that
Yes.
was at the near the top of the of your most recent matches. I didn't check the date,
It's,
but about
it's Sunny Kiss was
a couple of weeks ago,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
Effie's
yeah.
Big Gay Brunch, UK free. It was. Yeah, again, Sunny Kiss is someone I watched as a child. Like I remember Sunny Kiss and Lucha Underground. I remember Sonny Kiss just seeing a random indie show in like New Jersey. Like this is
AEW as well.
someone, yeah,
Obviously,
like the former AEW, recently former AEW star, but like I was a child when watching Sonny Kiss. Fast forward, and it's me stepping across the ring from them. Not only that, but I beat Sonny Kiss. But it's just like again, why me? Like I'm not against it, but why me? Like let me. This is why. This is why, because it's just like I'm clearly doing something right to deserve these opportunities.
yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Dude, yeah. I'm full of thinking people. Um, I'm all about the hype. I'm all about acknowledging awesomeness. And the things you've got to kind of like because again, I speak to so many people, and one of the most common phrases you mentioned it earlier is like imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
It blows my mind how some of the best people I've spoken to say that line, and I'm just kind of sat here and I'm like, it's kind of good to be humble, but
Yeah.
mate, you do like you belong there kind of thing. And when somebody gives you a belt, that is acknowledgement. That's validation. That's kind of like a massive pat on the back. That
Yep.
is a thank you so much for doing what you've done. We trust you to be
Hmm.
the head of to carry this belt for us.
Yeah.
So, mate,
It's kind
yeah,
of like your first place trophy almost. It's
yeah,
like you've
it's a
worked, you've
promotion.
worked, you've worked. You've finally got that. Like there you go. Show me what you can do with it.
Yeah,
And the Ultra X belt for sure. Like I've wrestled in Paris. I've wrestled in Spain. I'm back over in Helsinki. Like not even just the belt. I think it's just like me attached to the belt as well. It's just like a 2-for-1 special. So it's just been an absolute crazy ride. So I thank TNT. I thank Jay Apter for that because again, not a lot of people would look at me and assume I'm the type of wrestler that I'm are. They maybe think I'm the comedy wrestler or maybe someone to come over and help put over their heels, shall I say, like as in like, oh, it's easy sympathy because we can have them beat up the gay kid and blah blah. And I'm just like, no, 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 like you have
yeah.
no idea what you're walking into. No idea what you're walking into. And
Well,
I
that's it.
speak for, I think I speak for Adam Bolt as well. It's the same as him. Like, obviously, me and Adam are very different when it comes to styles and personas,
Yeah,
but we're very similar in ways as well. Where we're both egomaniacs, but at the same time, Adam does what Adam does, and Che Monet does what Che Monet does. But in ring work ethic speaks for itself.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of Um, it's unreal. Obviously, I've had the pleasure of speaking to Adam previously. He's coming on again very soon. So I'm going to be taking a little bits of this to kind of bring up when I speak to him in a few weeks. I'm like, stir in the pot before Jacob's ladder, basically. Just as just to mix it up a bit. But yeah, like I said, you've got that work ethic. But to me, like I said, you've got that. And to be, part of TNT, obviously Target's huge. They've got a massive sort of history. But TNT, obviously, I'm a massive fan of True Grit. I will hype True Grit up, till
Love
up to the
Trigger.
moon. But TNT is another one of those promotions that's in there with True Grit for me. Is like they're absolutely smashing it at the minute. They're on Triller. Some of the matches that it's the diversity of TNT as well. Like they're doing that deathmatch stuff or the hardcore stuff. They've got this high octane matches. You've got these people coming over. Jay's just absolutely nailing it. I think they've got to be one of the top 5 promotions in the country right now.
Jay's very broaden his horizon almost. It's kind of like TNT was obviously looked at for a while as like the deathmatch company where people get to see like these crazy wrestling styles and all that. And I think like integrating like myself and other people like who have personalities and characters and that just kind of checks all the boxes. Like you're not only getting the gritty hardcore style, you're getting the storylines, you're getting the characters, you're getting the workers essentially. Like you're getting everything that you need for your like it's like getting like a Sunday roast and it's a bit of everything in your taste buds. Like that's kind of what TNT is. Like I'm just gonna grab this, grab that, like oh in this match we'll do it, give me this, give me this, give me this. It's just so different and unique. And I just hope that it just keeps expanding because it's like True Grit right now. True Grit is just going do 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 do, and that's what we want to keep it like because these are two of the companies that I would wrestle for the rest of my life, rest of my career, because it's just the professionalism that backstage as well. I feel safe, I feel welcomed, I feel comfortable, and the opportunities that it gives me is sorry to say, but it's what I deserve.
Yes, exactly. You should be treated as exactly Che Monet worthy. You want to turn up. Because you deliver, you turn up. The fans know what you're going to get or what we're going to get. And it's just, but yeah, you just mentioned about TNT, like so I said, probably originally kind of known as that. It kind of reminds me of the how easy it was to kind of class ECW back in the day as that hardcore promotion. But if
Yep.
you look closer, man, some of the stories they told were amazing. You had guys obviously like Guerrero, Malenko, Rey Mysterio, Jericho. Technical wrestlers, Taz obviously as well, kind of thing. They weren't just a hardcore company; they were an all-around wrestling
Yep.
promotion.
Yep.
You just had to look a little bit closer, and then as soon as you kind of went down that rabbit hole and you saw that, mate, it's just kind of like it's been lifted, and you can just see everything, and it's just like all shiny.
Yeah, it's just kind of opening your mindset to more styles and different styles and that. Because I know there's people who will probably buy a ticket specifically to see people get put through glass tables and that's fine. But you're going to patiently wait, and you're going to sit and watch the other matches that are here putting as much work in as a glass table smashing. And that's no disrespect to anybody who does it. Because I know that there's some great wrestlers who are willing to put their bodies through the deathmatch experience. One right away, Emerson Jane, she's a fantastic wrestler. She's also a hardcore icon. It's kind of like I have so much respect for her in so many different ways because okay, you're torturing your body, but then you're going out the next day and you're putting on a 5-star classic. So I
Yeah,
can't say any bad words about that.
I've had this conversation with a few people, like, why do. Sorry, we'll get back to hyping up, obviously, the awesomeness of Shame on A, but just while we're talking about that kind of style, why some of our guys stand out more than other countries, but
Mhm.
it's because, you mentioned Emerson there, kind of thing. Obviously, you've got B.A. Rose, you've got Tim Strange,
Yeah.
we've got Franco Fate, we've got Alton Thorne. Not only can they do and love the deathmatch stuff, but they can turn up the next day and work at Mega Slam, or they can work at Butt.
Yes. Yeah. It's variety, it's diversity, it's the people that can do an all rounder. You need me to go do a camp show in front of 1,000 kids, screaming kids with inflatable hammers. I'll do that. Or you need me to be put through glass light tubes today with a glass table underneath. I can do that. You need me to just have a 5-star match for a championship. I can do that. It's just kind of checking all the boxes, and that's why they're so popular and that doing what they're doing now is because they give variety to everything.
Yeah, like I said, that is what a wrestling show should be, kind of thing. Like I said, should be a bit of this, a bit of that. I say maybe the people who turned up because they want to see that glass spot go away and have an appreciation for the technical side of stuff afterwards, or they see a match like you put on a match and they was just like, oh shit, that was like I was impressed by that. I love that. I love the speed. That drop kick in the corner is as brutal as any glass spot, kind of thing. Mate, every time I
It's
see that, it physically makes me go, oh.
it's mad because like at True Grit, for example, and the Pride show, it was myself and Sammy Blue, and we were on the same half because there was like 3 matches interval. That's how it was done. But we were on the same half as Kid Bandit and Stephanie Sterling, who were doing almost like a hardcore match. I don't give a damn if you're doing a hardcore match, and my match is still going to be better than yours because this is in my mindset. We've got bigger competition now because people would love to see the weapons and the cool stuff and blah blah blah. Okay, Sammy, we're working double time to show that we're still as good without the weapons. And I feel like me and Sammy absolutely smashed it at the park.
Oh, definitely. I mean, again, obviously anybody who's watched the review episode that myself and Dan and Paul did, kind of thing, not to stir the pot, but obviously I think Adam and Tony kind of just pipped
Yeah,
it by a
they had
nose.
ladders. They had
Yeah.
ladders.
But after that match, I think, I think it was a mutual agreement. Every match delivered, every match was awesome. It's a great show. Go watch it if you haven't. But, for the sake of talking about it after the show, for being memorable, for having just those moments. Yeah, after the ladder match, it was you against Sammy. It
The
was just like
razzmatazz. Yeah,
that's what gave birth to the Razzmatazz. That's when that was
yeah, it
created.
was. It's like two different variations with like Adam and Tony. They had like the long term storytelling. This was the big final match. Like if Tony wasn't winning this, that was him. Like the storyline's done. So they had like story, emotion. The ladders and that, like the ladders was kind of like the least part because they had so much story and emotion behind it as well. so everybody was so invested. But like, for when it comes to like your standard wrestling match, me and Sammy Blue were like, Sammy's obviously like kind of getting about in True Grit now. I turn up every so often, more recently. However, this was me and Sammy's first time experience 1 hour as well, so we didn't know how it was going to work, but it worked for the better.
It was just
Thank you.
well, while we're talking about it, just to sort of give him a bit of a give him his flowers because I love Sammy. I think Sammy's awesome. I like to class him as a friend of the show. I've talked to him, several times. He's pretty good at what he does, isn't he?
He's awesome. He's generally awesome, and like I always say, you either are going to make it in this business or you're not going to make it. Sammy Blue is the perfect example of someone who is kind of like a younger version of myself, or an Adam Bolt, or like Sky Smithson, where it's just like take every opportunity you get and make it count. Like make yourself stand out. And look at Sammy Blue. He went on to TNT to wrestle Big A Bunch. Without giving spoilers, Sammy Blue will be working in Scotland next year. Without giving spoilers, because he deserves it. He's professional. He comes. He does his job. He stands out. He takes feedback. He takes advice. He's doing everything he has to do. It's almost like taking my kid under a wing. Like that's what it's like. And like you said, I believe it was your podcast when I done the promo after my match with Sammy. It was genuine. None of that was planned. It was genuine. This is what I think of you.
Oh, dude, that to me is amazing as well because you've just had this match and then it speaks volumes for you and for anybody watching this who like obviously is knows a bit about you, seeing you in the ring, but as a person you take that few minutes after that match, after that hellacious match, to big up Sam, to acknowledge also Sammy's work and just how good he is.
Yeah.
That's just that's again, you said it before though, good shit happens to good people. That's the kind of good shit that I think you're paying it forward, it will come back round kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
I
I
really
don't know,
hope.
you'll get the pride title as a result at some point because of karma.
I really hope down the line, like touch wood, that this will never be anytime soon. But like, I want to eventually be able to, if I get to a point in my life where I'm like, I'm time to move on to something else, I want to pass my torch essentially to someone like a Sammy Blue, who is just ready to take off. Like, here you go, here's my crown, have fun.
Dude, that'd be amazing. But I mean, again, I'm kind of hoping, obviously, the match at Jacob Flair isn't the be all and end all. Like I said, we want to see you all the time at True Grit, and I know myself, Dan, and Paul have kind of fantasy booked ourselves into a corner with, we're desperate, we need a Sammy Blue and Che Monet versus Adam Bolt and Jackie T tag
Oh yeah,
match.
for sure. I'm not letting him like again, Sammy. I'm not letting you just survive this on your own. Like I know the difference is right now. So Sammy's kind of dipping his toe in it and seeing how it goes. I'm a big boy. I can handle Jackie T and Adam Bolt on my own. However, a numbers game is a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yep.
So JC, if you're listening to this, book it. Simple. You
Please.
want a match of the night? I'll give you a match of the night.
Oh,
Uh no, but like logistically speaking, I think it'd be sick. I genuinely
yeah.
would. It's again Jackie T as well. If we can just briefly point out as well, you don't get to see a lot of him in ring,
Yeah.
and then when you do get to see him, you go, "Oh, this guy can actually wrestle. Why is he just sitting at the ringside most of the time?" And it's just giving them that opportunity. And I felt like when we had our match, I generally came back, felt like, oh, you can actually wrestle. Like you're not just sitting there in waistcoats. Um, and like kayfabe speaking, he was really nervous, and but he came, and I think he had something to prove, and I think he proved it.
I mean, yeah, we talked about it before, and it's not just obviously because we didn't really think about it at the time, but the pressure was there because obviously, the fans have turned up. The fans want this Adam Bolt Shame on a match. We were literally like, just ravid for it, and then it got taken away from us, and then we get told, oh, we got Shame on A versus Jackie T. And on any given day, that would be like, oh, awesome, that's going to be a really good match. But because we were wanted that Adam Bolt match, that put a
Exactly.
lot of pressure on Jackie to kind of like, deliver and to
Yep.
make us realize, very quickly, actually, what? We want this match. And that's
Yeah.
what you both did. You made us both be like, 10, 20 seconds into the match, be like, Actually, no offense to Adam, but we can wait for that match. We know we're going to get it.
Yeah,
This is the match I want now.
yeah. Like me and Adam are very fond on storytelling and stuff like that as well. But like so to speak, like I wanted Jackie T because I want to see what your security is like. I don't want to see him at ringside. Like I already knocked him out with one punch. Now show me what you're made of. Like, and it was kind of like a test for Jackie T because again I'm like a shit brick house. Like I'm small in stature, but you're gonna find it hard to take me down. And Jackie T's a big boy himself, and he proved that. When he was showing me about that ring. But again, like my respect is definitely earned to Jackie T because he proved that he's more than just a voice box at the side of the ring. He's a wrestler.
Exactly. Or Lanky T, as I think some people called it. But yeah, that was amazing, obviously. But touching on, you sort of said, yourself and Adam. I probably, most wrestlers in general, I can only imagine, it's when you're working at a promotion, like you mentioned TNT, obviously you mentioned in True Grit, the stuff that you've done up in, ICW.
Yeah.
When you've got a storyline that you can get your teeth into, especially with your, experience, right, with the dramatics and the theatre and stuff, mate, that must just make it. Obviously, having a great match is having a great match, but when you've got a
Yeah.
storyline to tell, and you're going to get a series of matches,
Hmm.
and it's just going to build.
Yeah.
Well,
It's it's almost like keep them waiting. Like you tease them and then you keep them waiting. It's like that because like when something happens so fast, you go, oh, really? It's like the end of a movie you don't want to end. You go, oh come on, really? That's how we're gonna end it? No, like you keep them wanting more. As much as we hate it because you're like, I want to see the payoff. No, like you tease them and then you please them. That's kind of how it's done. But it's like naturally, I've kind of evolved over the years. So like you mentioned ICW there. I don't really work a lot of ICW now, but when I did work in ICW, I feel like I was a completely different person. I would love to bring this version of Che Monet to ICW, and show them really what they've been missing.
yeah, bring it back like the big return. That would be
Yeah.
there's-
I don't want fruity Che Monet. I want like badass, ready to kill a
yeah.
bitch Che Monet.
Oh, but dude, first you tease, then you please. That's got to be a T-shirt. That's got to
If
sort
you
of that's
tease, then you please.
you tease, then you please. Right
Available at next True Grit show in November.
on the merch table. I'll be like, yes. But if that's not a T-shirt in the next 7 months, I'm going to go rogue and just make it myself. I'm like, right,
Oh, I
you're
will
done.
100% be bringing that out now because now that you say it, I'm like, it's got a nice wee rhythm to it.
It does, man. It's just like you can either have it half on the front, half on the back, or just all on the front, however you want to
Push your
work it. But
T's and in the back, they
then
please.
you please, dude,
Shame on any
that'd be
merchandise come to you soon.
do it. Um, but it's just like I said, having that storyline working forward. Um, it's just like it amazes me, just because obviously, it's the wrestling is wrestling. That's hard enough in itself, to go in there and do what you guys do in the ring, tell a story, the psychology, but then just be able to plan, what. No, you're not just telling, like you said, you're not just telling the story in the ring. It's the promos, it's the stuff afterwards, it's
Yep.
the mannerisms. It's just, yeah.
Facials, so important.
But there's very few people, like you said, that can do it to a certain level, and you are one of those people that can do it. And
Thank you.
again, that's just me, obviously acknowledging. I sort of say I'm all here about the hype. I think you're awesome, and I'll tell you repeatedly. But that is another reason why. Because they said, you've got that kind of charisma. You can cut that promo. I think it's so important, especially now in the world of like YouTube. Obviously, 10 years ago or so, British wrestling probably wasn't that important,
Yeah.
but it's key now. It needs to be drilled into people that you need to be able to cut a promo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that being a good wrestler is not good enough anymore. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's always you need that extra bit of mm, to make you stand out. Like this is why character's so important and finding something that makes you stand out from the pack. Because like the way I think about it is like if you're all lining up, what's going to make you stand out? Whether it be your gear, whether it be your look, whether it be your hair, whether it be your shape. Like the first thing that people see is by impression, as first impression, they look at you. So they're seeing you before they even like speak a language or speak a word to you, speak a language, speak a word to you. So it's like, right, what's going to make you stand out for this first impression? And that's when I'm thinking, right, okay, what's a gear style that's mine, uniquely mine, that no one else has? And like I was actually inspired by, I don't know if you remember, now retired, Cassandro.
Rings a bell. I couldn't.
I
I
think he's
know
like
of them, but I don't know much about them. I think.
he was like the first ever exotical wrestler in Mexico or something like that. Like they made a film and everything about him, and actually do have a good relationship with Cassandra. And basically, like when he was speaking to me, it almost felt like a pass the torch moment. So at that moment, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something to represent my heroes and people who inspired me to do this. So the gear style was, even though it's unique to Che Monet because I put my own spin on it, it's inspired by other inspirations. And like you're seeing my many gears, or recently, like I don't like just doing like, oh, I'll just wear this color, I'll just wear this color. It's I'm gonna dress as Pennywise today and put my Shea Monet spin on it. I'm gonna be Cruella Deville today, put my Shea Monet spin on it. Like I do not like being basic at all and just shoving on any random color. And my gear means something to me, every single gear that I wear.
No, yeah, I've noticed that, and I love stuff like because I think that's something that kind of gets overlooked. Well, obviously, I'm talking about like the importance of promos and stuff like that. But I think the best example I can give to people who don't know what I'm talking about is Seth Rollins. His wrestling gear it's psychological more than anything.
Yep.
He will wear gear to put his opponent off from the get go. So as soon as he walks
Yep.
out that curtain and you see his gear, it's like when he first fought Cody Rhodes, he came out in the polka dots, or just
Yeah.
random stuff like that. It's like, mate, that is incredible. But it's the thought that goes into it.
Yeah, and there's definitely people who sit there and go like, "What is he wearing?" And that's what you want people to be like. I want people to question why you're wearing that, because right away, I don't care if it's good attention, bad attention, confusion is grasping your attention.
Yeah.
That's the main thing from it. So it's like even sometimes when I come up to like a audience that maybe never seen me before, and they go, "Oh, who's this guy? Like, why is he in makeup? What's going on here?" And right away, I don't care because I'm grasping your attention. Like you're interested to see what I'm about to do.
That's it. And I mean, as well, 'cause again, not to, but because obviously, like I said, you've kind of got this, the flamboyance, the gear, the costume, the attitude, the mannerisms when you come out.
Mhm.
But then when the match starts, is it? I don't know if it's deliberate or if it's like playing a little bit of mind games. But I think there might be a few people out there who are just like, oh shit, they did
Yeah,
not see
we
that
didn't
coming. Kind
expect
of thing.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the illusion I give off. Like I remember explaining. There's a wrestler up in Scotland called Zachary Swift. And we were on a car journey recently to a show in Blackpool, and he was like, "How would you describe your character?" And I described, those classic horror films where there's the kids and they have like a telescope and the hot neighbor lives next door and they like look into their window. And it's like the hot blonde mom, they all fancy, and then they eventually sneak into her house and there's the 10 dead bodies behind the basement. That's me. I'm the
hotness,
hot
but
blonde mum.
with a
Like
very dark side.
it's
With a
like
very dark side.
yeah, it's very dark because I'm a big horror fan. I've been looking for some sort of way to bring like horror to my aesthetic, almost in my gimmick. And like the way I always think about it is like I take like inspiration from wrestlers such as like an AJ Lee. Like it's mind games, it's mind games, it's mind games until you snap. Until you give them a reason to really snap on you, and then almost like it's to your benefit. It's either you lose control and you actually win the match, or you can't keep your composure and it costs you. Like it depends what way you can go. But yeah, like I really trying to translate something different to an audience. Like you said, I've got the flamboyancy and the look and the sassy attitude and that. But then I get in the ring, the bell rings, and it's game time. It's on.
Dude, it's just. I was gonna. 'Cause again, another thing I like to tap up is like inspirations because I know again from speaking to people, like you said, you can pull reference from wrestlers and people that have come before you, like
Yep.
influencers and stuff. But I know a lot of people kind of like to pull ideas from like films and things like that because as wrestling fans, it's going to be more unique to us because
Yep.
it's from like a film or something. We'll know stuff from like wrestling history. We'll be able to be like, oh, that's a bit like this person, or that's a bit like this person. But if you pull influences from a film, then it's going to be like, oh shit, okay, that
Yeah.
feels new.
A
Um,
pop culture
but
and
yeah,
stuff like that. Like a big thing that I looked at for my character mannerisms sometimes, especially when I'm a heel. I don't know if you've ever seen Kathy Bates in Misery.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Scary.
always think like she's so obsessed with this guy, but she's so deluded and crazy and delusional and stuff. And like I always think like, okay, this is what I'm gonna go into my promos being like I'm so delusional. I think like everybody loves me and it's really the opposite and stuff like that. Like I just always think of things to stand out and take things from classic films. Like I'm a big fan of like the 90s era, just all the films. Like I like the newer stuff, but not as good as the classics. Like my favorite film ever is probably Halloween, Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Um, but I just always try and dig into something that I love, because if you love it as well, you're more passionate about it.
Yes. Yeah, it translates. It comes across. It's more genuine, and obviously, I've always sort of said, the fans will always pick up on something, whether they know
Yep.
it or not. If something's genuine, it kind of radiates more, and it kind of like, yeah, okay. But we're talking of Halloween, then. Actually, you're talking horror films. I'm going to put you on the spot. I do this to
Yep.
everyone. As soon as somebody says that they like films or certain genre of films, I'm like, right. Top 5 horror films.
Top five, Halloween, of course.
Yeah.
It.
Okay. Original or
Um,
remake?
Original, Tim Curry.
Original. Tim Curry, yeah.
Um, oh, I really like. There's a classic horror in the UK. I believe it's been in the UK. The Descent.
Yeah, done by the guy who did Dog Soldiers. It's what he did after Dog
Yep.
Soldiers. Yeah.
Yep. About the woman's going to the cave to discover it. Oh, okay. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? This is hard because when your brain's just ticking all
First
over the
five.
place.
Just go with your
Yeah.
gut. First five.
Misery.
Okay, yep.
Um, I feel like I'm missing. I'm saving this fifth spot for like the one, like, because it depends. Like, to me, like I separate. I'm like horror, and then I break them off into all different genres.
Yeah,
So like maybe you have like your serial killer, maybe you have
psychological.
like your cannibal, your zombies, or stuff like that. Like I love like House of Eyes and Wrong Turn and stuff like that. But then I love my serial killers, like your Screams and your Friday the 13th and not Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th, Jason.
Yeah.
But then there's kind of like your supernatural, like Freddy Krueger, of course, or like recently, like one of the ones that I really enjoyed was The Conjuring, the first one only though. Um, so like yeah, I love a lot of classic horrors and stuff. Like five is just I'm gonna need like top five, but break it down into like zombies, monsters, serial killers, psychological. Like I need the full breakdown,
Oh,
but Halloween is definitely my number one. I
oh,
love. I think I have a big crush on Michael Myers. So
no, it's just if you like the white, if you like that goth kind of pasty vibe, definitely
yeah,
working it.
I remember Adam saying he's like, "Oh, I might do Michael Myers for one of the shows." And I said, "You turn up Michael Myers, you're not leaving the show."
Right, nope. But obviously, yeah, all 4 of those films were awesome. Quick shout! I noticed. I don't know if you've got a Cineworld near you, but The Descent is on at Cineworld. I think in a couple of weeks.
Way
They're
ahead of
showing.
you. Way ahead of you. Already on it.
Man, good man. I would personally put Scream in there just because I think it kind of relaunched the
Yeah,
genre in the
I
mid
would say
'90s.
Scream. You can't go wrong with it. To be honest, you really can't go wrong with it.
I've just watched all 3 of them again today, so it's fresh in my head. I'm just like, yep.
I've seen them on Netflix, and I'm like, I
Yep.
need to go watch them again. Again, I think the first one might be my favorite, to be honest. Though it's
Oh,
just
first one, yeah, first one's
what.
iconic. Second one's good. Third one's awful, and then it kind of comes
Oh,
back
the
up
third one's
again.
awful.
I hate the third one, but 5 and 6 were really good as well. So it's kind of gone like this, and then it's gone back up again.
I don't mind the fourth one either. I really don't.
It was better than the third, but not as good as 5 or 6.
Good cast in it though.
Yeah,
Emma Roberts played her part well. I
it's
really enjoyed it. Scream, like, and it's like I loved like there's a line Sydney. I can't remember what one it is, but Sidney Prescott says, "Don't fuck with the original."
yeah,
That's top tier line there. And
that is
like I'm waiting for that promo moment just to get it in.
right. Yes. Oh, that would be if you ever turned heel on Sammy, that's your time.
Don't fuck with the original.
Don't
That'll
fuck
be
with
me
you.
after I take Adam Bolt's pride belt.
Mate, I'm gonna. It's obviously we've kind of touched. Well, not we touched on. We've talked about it quite a lot, but just as obviously as a true grit fan, majority I think of people who watch these episodes are going to be, they will know me from True Grit, or they'll follow this show because of its association with True Grit. So I kind of want to talk about it again still, but again, no spoilers or anything. But my only, as much as I want that Adam Bolt match, um, I'm legitimately, as I think a lot of fans are, they are torn because Adam's done wonders for that belt. He's carried it as we call it the IC belt basically. For us, it's like the
Yes,
Intercontinental, it's the
yes.
workers belt.
Yep.
Um, but if Adam loses it, it's going to be like, oh. But then obviously you win it, we're going to be like, hey. But then if Adam keeps it, we'll be happy in a sense. But then we're going to be like, oh shit, does that mean that we don't get Shay? And I know you said that you would work at True Grit, for the rest of your career. But I just hope JC kind of latches onto that, and regardless of the result, we have a Monet future at True
Yeah,
Grit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope whichever the result is, that I will be in True Grit going forward. Um, but again, they might not have a choice because if I take that belt, you don't get the
That's it.
option to not book me. That's the thing.
That's
But yeah, like I definitely think that me and Adam both have something to prove going into this match. We've had wars the full year, so this is like the big payoff. This is like potential last match of our year, so we need to just. It's gonna be a fight. It really is gonna be a fight. And like, don't no disrespect to Tony. You're too nice, Tony. You were too nice. That's the problem. You're too nice. You let like the emotions get to you, stuff like that. I'm a heartless bitch. I have
yeah,
no
it's not going to do that.
emotions.
Yeah, that's not going to
Adam,
be.
Jackie T, Ivy, nobody can stop me. Once I'm going, I'm like the Incredible Hulk. You cannot put me down, man. I'm the big green machine. But it genuinely, like, just like my thoughts going into this is like, no matter the result, Adam, let's tear the fucking house down.
Yes, I can't even put into words how hyped I am. For I could have quite easily just sat here for an hour just trying to talking about this match. How it's going to play out, what we want, or this or the other. It's just, yeah. I know I speak for most of the True Grit fans. We are. It's just one of those matches where we just buy it. We just want it to happen. We just want to watch
Yeah.
it. We know we've got to be able to sit there and bask in the awesomeness. We've got to get to see. You say you like the Hulk. I'm going to liken you more to like just a razzmatazz juggernaut. Because like once you get going, you're not stopping. The unstoppable force. You are the juggernaut.
I'm basically the Nia Jax of British wrestling.
No, dude, no, hell no. I ain't having that.
I'm gonna start sitting on people and just see what happens. No, it's
I ain't having
genuinely
that.
though. Like it's like I said, like I really have saw myself evolve over the years and watching myself now. It's not that I mean I am still 5'6" in height, but in my head I am 7 foot. So it's
You're the
like
great Tally. You're just like Bosh.
yeah, like genuinely like what once I've got my targets set on someone, like you're in trouble.
Oh, I love it. I see you start doing the Cali chop. Like, yeah, he generally does think he's 7 foot
Oh,
tall. Oh.
straight to Adam, straight to his medals.
Match
Low
over. Yeah,
blow, DQ, I'm out.
dude. It's just like I say, I'm just legitimately so hyped for that. But not just for that. Obviously, we're talking True Grit, but what you're going to be doing it. I want to see what you and Kirby get up to. Obviously, defending that tag title. The stuff you're doing in TNT. It's just, and obviously numerous other promotions I haven't mentioned. I can't get lost. I can't go down that rabbit hole and talk about all more. But I just
Yeah,
the future's it's just I'm getting overhyped talking about it. But yeah, just excited to see what you do going forward.
yeah.
And I
Right
think that
now
speaks
in
volumes.
TNT, like I'm a fighting champion. So all these people that I beat, whether they're international or where it's Adam Ball, like I guess Scotty Rock's gonna be coming for me after winning that Rumble. Who's next? Like line them all up. But it's like I want Shay Monet versus the world. Like if you all want to come at me the one time, we can do that. We can do that. I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a number because ain't nothing.
Oh, I've just had another idea. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
I do know Scott Pilgrim versus the
Yeah,
world.
I watch Shane Monet versus the world, and it's like you in the middle with the belt and possibly like
I
seven
know though. That's what
instead
I'm
of
saying. Like, come at me, TNT.
yeah,
If you're listening to this, the
yeah.
actor, get it booked because I'm ready. Like, I know these people are have some sort of resentment to me. I mean, I came to half their countries and beat them up. So come to my again. It's the same site thing that I said to Adam. Come to my territory and let me show you how it's done.
Dude, you're the it's your yard, to quote somebody else.
TNT is the Shay show.
Ah, or just dude, I'm just so happy. It's just kind of like so saying you've kind of it's been building, and the hard work, the graft, everything is just paying off. It's just that momentum is going, mate. It's just a massive snowball rolling down the side of the Alps or something. It's just it's unstoppable.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Dude. I said I'd keep you for about an hour, which I have done. And I've tried not to talk about just again, talk about X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the other. You start talking about horror films, I'm like, right, I'll rein it in, because that's going to be another 30 minutes where we're just talking about horror films. But dude, thank you so much for just coming along, chatting, having a laugh, talking wrestling, talking films, which is always cool. But do you want to let people know where they can find you on the socials?
Yes, you can find my Facebook page on Che Monet. Just type Che Monet in and you will find me there. My Instagram is _Che Monet _. If you don't already follow me, that sucks to be you. And my Twitter is Che Monet UK. Make sure you follow each platform and interact with me because everything I do is interesting.
Exactly. So why would you not? I was going to say, if you're not following Shay, again, sucks to be you. Why are you not? Hit that follow button. Obviously, we'll hashtag him, not hashtag, well, at him on all the posts when this episode gets uploaded. We will hashtag it. I'm going to hashtag it first you cheese, then you please.
Funny.
But follow Shay. Keep an eye out on what shows are coming up. If you can get to a show, go watch a show. Asking for merch. Get these t-shirts out there. We want to see them.
Yeah. First you tease, then you please.
Exactly. But obviously, and for majority of people watching this, we will see you in November for Jacob's Ladder, where it is gonna be just a must-see, iconic, memorable moment of the year. True Grit contender, I am sure. And we'll see you there. But as always, work the left side. We'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.